I'm giving somebody the blues today.
Jack probably needs like a small buff, but really I would say more so bring everyone down to his level instead of bringing him up to everyone else's level. So if that is the idea that they were doing to Jack, then I would say he needs nothing. Bring everyone down to him, don't bring him up. Dragonoff is fine where he's at. I guess I should put the chat on the screen because you guys are popping off with some nonsense, huh? Lars is a tricky one because this is what you have to establish as well and what people just refuse to accept. Certain characters are supposed to be tournament gods. Some characters are supposed to be online gods. Like, for example, Gigas, Lucky Chloe, Eddie. All of those characters are online gods. Their win rates in Tekken 7 was incredible. But then when you look at Tekken 7, when you look at tournaments, their performance was horrible. And I feel like Lars also falls into that category where he's not supposed to be a tournament viable character. He's supposed to be an online character who just cooks online. Like he has his flaws at the highest level. But put it like this, I think certain characters is not for the tournament level skill. They're for the skill underneath that. And I feel like when we try to force characters into that section, it just creates a nasty. You know what the thing I hate about Law the most? His slide into the nunchuck. I think that is so obnoxious. I hate moves that loop over and over. Slide, nunchuck. He fakes again, slide, nunchuck. That type of gameplay is not fun. I'm not even talking about it being like powerful or anything. It's just not a fun experience to like get hit by the slide nunchuck 10 times. It's just not. Especially when you think about what Law used to be. The Law matchup used to be way better. It used to be way more like, a thought process. But now you're just getting killed by one move. Law kind of lost his personality, and I blame the nunchuck. They gotta nerf that nunchuck because it's overshadowing everything else he does. I think Clive is ruined. His range is the biggest thing you have to talk about. He has so many tools that can hit you from half screen, and just based on his animations alone, like how do you make that not the case? He has that move where he lunges at you with the sword, and I'm not talking about 4-1+2, but we could talk about that move as well. Maybe you just reduce the tracking to a significant degree. Maybe you reduce the damage. Maybe you reduce like the follow-up capability of it, but I mean, he's a character who was just created with bad intentions. Asuka, we got a bouquet over here. Man, buff Asuka. Asuka has been in how many games and she's been low tier every single time? Let us get a top 5 Asuka for once. Anybody disagree? Raise your hands if you disagree. You know how Yoshimitsu has pretty much never been top tier except for year 1 of Tekken 8? Let Asuka have her time now. She is also a character who's not supposed to be good at tournaments. But, like I said, she never had her opportunity. Like, Yoshimitsu's not supposed to be a tournament viable character, but here we are, right? So, bro, you guys be saying I be, like yapping and I don't know what I'm talking about. I was literally the first one to say Claudio's OP. Now he's considered top 5. It's like, bro, what? He needs to be destroyed. So, and I don't even, it's not even worth talking about him because all of his moves are OP. All of his moves. He does so much damage. His wall look is insane. His risk versus reward is heavily skewed. The way he can just spam forward 2 is so oppressive, especially with heat and the mix-ups afterwards. It's crazy. Like his whole toolkit makes this low heat smash unpredictable versus like Kazuya and Paul Phoenix where you could kind of predict it because their toolkits is just so overwhelming. He's insane. Shahid is a diabolical character and he needs to be removed from the game, and they need to start by nerfing his whole toolkit and just make him irrelevant. When Falkenrop released and he had his guard breaking wall splat move, we told the developers we did not like that. Everyone was like, what is this trash mechanic? This is horrible. And then they took that feedback from Falkenrop's guard break and they gave it to everyone. Now Heihachi can guard break wall splat. Heihachi or Shahid can guard break loop into himself. Yoshimitsu has guard break tech at the end of some crazy combo he already did that could lead into another crazy combo. Why did they do that? We told them we didn't like guard breaks with Falkenrop and they gave it to everyone and they made it 10 times worse. I think King is too much. Like, you talk about him having an incredible grapple game, but then also he has like some of the best counter hit tools in the game. Armor King's supposed to be the brawler with all these other tools, and his throws is supposed to be the side thing. But with King, that's how he is. King is the character who has all of this a crazy toolkit, but then he has a crazy grab game on top of it. He's not supposed to have both, in my opinion. I think they should nerf his game and emphasize the throws, and then probably I wouldn't have anything to say. But Dragonoff, you got to body Dragonoff. I think this is obvious, and it's not really much to be said there. Alyssa, destroy her chainsaws, then we could talk. Yoshimitsu is so oppressive in this game because this game is perfectly suited for his toolkit. He is one of the few characters who has his defensive abilities intact. Yes, they took away a lot of his counter hit tools, forward 1+2, forward 4-3. They took away a lot of his counter hit tools, and they even took away some unblockables, and they made them just normal hits. Some of them, helicopter 1 is a counter hit launcher, right? But he still has a lot of his keep out, and many characters don't have that. This was always his strong suit, was turtling, waiting for you to strike, and countering with the spin, countering with evasion, countering with some weird like move he did. All of a sudden he's in the air and he's landing on your head, or countering straight up with the flash. He's always been that type of character. But with this game being so aggressive and every character going in the stances, he shines like a god. Yoshimitsu's always been this character who takes what you do and spit it back at you. And in a game where everyone's moving so fast, so aggressive, 50-50s everywhere, of course he's going to destroy in that environment. And I don't think what you do is take those tools away from him. I don't think that's what you do. If you take the flash, if you take the unblockable, if you take the spin, he's just a normal Tekken character at that point. That's like if you took the Mishima's electrics and hell sweeps and whatnot, they would be normal character. You don't do that. And I understand those moves are powerful, but I'm saying what they got to do is take the other things from him. Insane damage, insane Oki, his healing property, change his chip damage. Let him be a character that interrupts because that's what he always does, but reduce how much he gains out of it. I don't know, bro. What they did with Yoshimitsu is so dumb. And it's like, why did you do that? I don't think Steve Fox is as bad as everyone says. Obviously, he's bad in comparison to what he used to be. He used to be this is how powerful Steve Fox used to be. You remember when Fahkumram first came out? When someone picked Fahkumram, the other person would pick either Fahkumram or Steve Fox. That's how powerful he used to be, and he's not that guy anymore. He's not him, right? And I think rightfully so. I think Steve Fox had all of Tekken 7 to be this perfect character, and it's fair that now he's not that version of himself anymore. What do we want to have, Tekken 7 Steve Fox all over again? Kazuya really needs nothing in my personal opinion, but if you were to do something to him, it would be a small buff, a very minuscule small buff, because I think there is something he could get. Like if we were giving out stuff, you could give him something, but it's really not necessary. I think Kazuya's in a great spot right now. I think this is a character where you got to see how he operates after heat is nerfed. Jin Kazama, he needs to be destroyed. Kuma, nerf him. One button electrics, then he should not be able to spam 50 of them in heat. They should not do crazy chip damage. They should not be super no. Why is it like that? But then also his low hit that he charges up, you want to charge up that full hit, -15, no pushback. Good luck. And then also, we already talked about him getting like the booty bump after combos. That's absurd. I think Kuma and Panda's power crush is OP. They had the same thing in Tekken 7, and I hated it in Tekken 7 as well, but it's just too effective. It's too spammy. It's a crutch. I don't like when tools are being used as a crutch, and I know this is why when you guys say the flash and unblockables, I get it. Devil Jin, he lost his identity like crazy. I don't like all the force 50-50s. I don't like the tracking unblockable guard break setups. I don't like the hell sweep lasers that push you all the way far back. I don't like the jumping and flying at you from across the screen. I don't like any of that stuff. It shouldn't have been in the game, in my opinion. I don't think he should have been able to lunge at you from across the screen into a mix-up. I would say remove all of that stuff, but then once you do that, you then need to buff his actual toolkit. Like the actual Devil Jin that we know and love is so bad. And that's why people spam all that garbage, because that's the only stuff that works. All they can do is try to unblockable guard break you at the wall. All they can do is try to fly at you, because that's all that works. I think this is the character who you need to really look at his whole toolkit and revamp him. But at the same time, while I say all of this, with Devil Jin, you have to keep in mind that he was a broken character on launch. Everyone asked for him to be nerfed. The developers delivered that. And then overnight, everyone then turned around and said to buff him again. And I don't like that. I don't like to turn around and saying, oh, this character is too powerful. They kill him and then turn around and be like, oh, now he's too weak, buff him. I don't like the back and forth. You guys asked for it. This is what you get. Lee is a tricky case. The slide that he does with heat is ridiculous. I don't know if you guys see a common trend here. Moves that can jump at you from across the screen, I hate. Lee has it, Law has it, Devil Jin has a lot of it, Victor has it, Alyssa has it, all of that stuff, bro. Shahid doing like a forward 2 from across the what's called and jump. That's not Tekken in my opinion. That's like the force interactions. These two characters are standing, they're spacing around, they're in the neutral, they're trying to find an opening, and then the developers was like, you know how we can break that footsies is by giving these characters moves that jump at the other character, whether it be a forward 2, whether it be a chain, whether it be a slide. They just gave whether it be a Yoshimitsu forward 1+2 in heat, they gave all of these characters moves that just jump at the other person, and I hate most of them. Bryan Fury is a character who's really cool. I like him a lot, but I think he just does some things that's unnecessary. I think his guard breaks unnecessary. I think his ability to pick you up at the wall unnecessary. Like, you could be on the ground, he could do that move that picks you up on the ground and wall splats you. It's like you either stay down and get picked up, or you tech roll and he breaks your guard. That's not cool in my opinion. He's such a cool character. He doesn't need that. Like, it just makes you frustrated with the matchup for no reason, you know? He has a lot of issues with, like, you know, counter hits and, like, you know, someone's talking about the hatchet kick tracking and whatnot. He does have those issues, but I don't know if you want to get rid of all of that stuff, right? Like, if you tackle all of that stuff, then what's left? Heihachi, you guys aren't going to like this. First off, Ultra Instinct. We got to talk about that. We were looking at statistics a little while ago, and we were looking at the final round performance of every character. Heihachi was at the top, and that's because everyone activates Ultra Instinct in the final round and just destroys. Ultra Instinct needs to be nerfed in a few ways. One, reduce damage. Or, now, all these different things I list is going to be like, right? So reduce damage, or reduce the ability to take away the opponent's chip health, gray health. What is that? Or nerf the mix-ups, the pressure, the Oki, the chip. Like, it's crazy. He has, like, this is the problem with Tekken 8. Ultra Instinct is too much. If Heihachi's 1-1-2 is going to wall splat, so should Kazuya's. If they don't want to give it to Kazuya, then take it away from Heihachi. Heihachi's Hell Sweep isn't launch punishable, and I understand that there's something different there, like his Hell Sweep doesn't launch or something, but it's stupid. I love that FDX was talking about visual clarity. I think all Hell Sweeps should operate how Hell Sweeps operate. Like, that's why it's a Hell Sweep. Like, we should call it something else, because it's not doing what Hell Sweeps do anymore. It's a different move now. Like, all snake edges, all hop kicks. Like, you have these universal tools that we have a name for, and then Heihachi's just all of a sudden does something differently. And then also that mid kick. You know that mid kick that Heihachi players love to say the range is bad and the tracking is bad and it's super risky to do, but then when you go up against a Heihachi, he then does it like 20 times in the match. That move should be nerfed. I know everything I say, you guys will then try to do like whataboutism with Yoshimitsu. What about Yoshimitsu's flash? What about this? I get it. I don't think you should be able to do that with Yoshimitsu either. That one kick from Heihachi, it just absorbs everything and there's nothing left there. It's just the kick. And I think it's too powerful for that reason. Oh, you know what I will say about Heihachi as well? His damage output. So this is something that people talk about with Yoshimitsu, how Yoshimitsu has one of the highest damage has the highest damage output in the whole game. But you know who's right next to him? Heihachi. And no one says nothing about it. Yet Yoshimitsu's the talk of the town. Why the difference? Is it the execution that Heihachi has, which is why people feel like it's okay?